Hi there, my name is Dr. Stuart R. Miller, and I need to talk to you about something that most people don't want to hear, but something I think you really need to understand. I've spent years in the medical field, and I've seen patterns emerge that genuinely concern me. What I'm about to share with you might sound alarming, but it's not meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. Because the truth is, for a lot of us, our blood is poisoned, not in the dramatic sense where you suddenly collapse, but in a slow, methodical way that happens every single day based on the choices we're making. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone. I've made poor choices too. I've eaten the junk, I've stayed up late, I've skipped the exercise, I've dealt with the stress without proper tools. But at some point, you have to look in the mirror and acknowledge what's actually happening in your body. And that's what we're going to do today. The reality of modern living. Let me start by painting a picture of how we're living in 2024 and beyond. We wake up in the morning, and if we're being honest, most of us aren't waking up because we've gotten a restorative 8 hours of sleep. We're waking up because our alarm is blaring, or we've been tossing and turning all night. We're immediately reaching for our phones, checking emails, scrolling through social media, absorbing catastrophic news stories before our brain has even had a chance to fully activate. Then we stumble into the kitchen, and here's where it gets tricky. We're hungry, we're groggy, and we're looking for something quick. So what do? We grab a coffee loaded with sugar and cream, maybe some toast with processed spreads, or we hit the drive-thru and grab something that tastes amazing, but is basically a chemical experiment designed to make us crave more of it tomorrow. Now let me be clear, I'm not anti-food. I'm not saying you can never have a donut. But the problem is, for most people, this isn't occasional. This is daily. This is the pattern. And when this pattern is repeated day after day after day, year after year, your blood literally changes. The chemistry of your blood fundamentally shifts. What's actually in your blood right now? Let's talk about what we're dealing with. Your blood is the transportation system of your body. It carries oxygen to your cells. It carries nutrients. It carries immune cells. It carries hormones that regulate everything from your mood to your metabolism. But when you're living a lifestyle that's filled with processed foods, excessive sugar, unhealthy fats, and constant stress, your blood becomes something very different. Think about it like this. Imagine a pristine river, clean water flowing, supporting life, working exactly as it should. Now imagine slowly dumping toxins into that river every single day, industrial waste, chemicals, sludge. At first the river looks mostly the same, but over time the fish start to die, the plants start to wither, the entire ecosystem begins to collapse. That's what we're doing to our bodies. When you consume foods high in refined sugars and unhealthy fats, your blood glucose spikes. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin. This is a normal biological response, but when it happens constantly, your cells start to become resistant to insulin. This is the beginning of metabolic dysfunction. Your blood also becomes thicker, more viscous. Your arteries have to work harder to pump this substance through your body. Your blood pressure rises. Your heart has to labor harder with every single beat. And then there's inflammation. Oh man, inflammation. This is the silent killer that nobody talks about enough. When you eat processed foods, when you're stressed all the time, when you're not sleeping well, your body enters a state of chronic inflammation. Your immune system is basically on high alert 24/7, attacking things that aren't actually threats, stressed because it thinks there's a constant emergency happening. And this inflammation gets into your blood, it damages your arteries, it affects your brain, it worsens every single chronic disease known to mankind. Your blood also picks up an excess of free radicals when you're eating oxidized foods and living an oxidative lifestyle. These free radicals are like little wrecking balls. They're unstable molecules that bounce around inside your body, causing damage at the cellular level. They age you from the inside out. They contribute to cancer, to heart disease, to Alzheimer's, to virtually every age-related condition. The lifestyle factors poisoning your blood. Let me break down the specific lifestyle factors that are doing this damage, because knowledge is power, right? Once you understand what's happening, you can make different choices. First, let's talk about food. The standard American diet, and honestly diets in most developed countries now, is absolutely loaded with things that don't belong in the human body. We're eating seed oils that have been chemically extracted and processed to a degree that our ancestors could never have imagined. We're eating sugar in forms that don't exist in nature. A can of soda has more sugar than a human being should consume in an entire week, and we drink it like water. We're eating artificial sweeteners that trick our bodies into thinking we're consuming calories when we're not, messing up our satiety signals and our metabolism. Then there's the processed carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, pasta made from refined flour. Your body breaks these down almost instantly into glucose. It's like drinking liquid sugar. Your blood glucose spikes, your insulin spikes, and when this happens constantly, you develop what's called insulin resistance. Your cells stop listening to insulin's message. Your blood sugar stays elevated. And now you're at risk for type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and a cascade of other problems. Second, stress. And I mean chronic, unrelenting stress. We live in a constant state of low-level panic. We're checking our phones hundreds of times a day. We're exposed to negative news constantly. We're worried about money, about our jobs, about our relationships, about the state of the world. And when you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that was designed to help us in short-term emergencies. It raises blood sugar, it increases blood pressure, it suppresses immune function, it promotes fat storage, especially in the belly. But when you're stressed all the time, cortisol stays elevated. Your blood becomes flooded with this hormone. Over time, this causes real damage. Your immune system becomes compromised. You become more susceptible to infections and diseases. Your blood pressure stays elevated. You gain weight even if you're not eating too much, because cortisol is literally telling your body to store fat. Third, sleep deprivation. This is huge, and I don't think we talk about it nearly enough. Your body does most of its repair and recovery when you're sleeping. Your glymphatic system, this is the brain's cleaning system, it only fully activates during deep sleep. If you're not sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night, toxins are building up in your brain, your immune system isn't recovering, your hormones aren't regulating properly, and yes, this affects your blood. Sleep deprivation increases inflammation, it increases cortisol, it increases blood pressure, it makes your blood more likely to clot. Fourth, sedentary lifestyle. Most of us are sitting way too much. We sit at our desks, we sit in our cars, we sit on our couches. Movement is medicine. When you move, when you exercise, you're improving the function of your cardiovascular system. You're increasing the amount of oxygen in your blood. You're improving your metabolism. You're reducing inflammation. You're improving your mood. But if you're sedentary, none of these things are happening. Your blood is stagnating. Your heart is deconditioned. Your metabolism is sluggish. Fifth, environmental toxins and poor air quality. We're breathing in pollution every single day. Particulate matter in the air from cars and factories. We're using personal care products loaded with chemicals. We're exposed to endocrine disruptors in plastics and pesticides. These toxins accumulate in your body and get into your blood. They disrupt your hormones. They damage your cells. They contribute to cancer and autoimmune disease. The science behind blood poisoning. Let me get a little bit more technical here because I want you to understand exactly what's happening at the cellular level. This isn't vague or abstract. This is real biochemistry. When you eat foods that spike your blood sugar, and I'm talking about refined carbohydrates and sugars, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin is a hormone that tells your cells to take up glucose from the blood. It's a necessary hormone. But here's the problem. When this happens constantly, your cells start to ignore insulin's signal. It's like if someone's been yelling at you all day, you stop hearing them. This is insulin resistance. When you have insulin resistance, your pancreas responds by producing even more insulin, trying to force your cells to take up glucose. Now you have chronically elevated insulin in your blood. Elevated insulin causes your liver to store more fat. It causes your blood vessels to constrict, raising blood pressure. It increases inflammation throughout your body. It increases your risk of blood clots. It messes with your hunger hormones, so you feel hungry even when you've eaten enough. Then there's the issue of oxidative stress. Remember those free radicals I mentioned? These are generated when you eat processed foods, when you're under stress, when you're exposed to pollution. Your body has antioxidant defenses to neutralize these free radicals. But if the free radicals exceed your antioxidant capacity, which is what happens in a lifestyle full of processed food and stress, then you have oxidative stress. This damages the membranes of your blood cells. It damages your arteries. It can damage your DNA. And inflammation. Chronic inflammation is really the root of most disease. When you're eating processed foods, your immune system treats these foods as invaders. Your gut becomes inflamed. This leads to something called leaky gut, where the integrity of your intestinal lining is compromised. Particles that shouldn't get into your bloodstream start making it through. Your immune system is constantly activated, trying to fight off these invaders. This creates a state of chronic inflammation throughout your body, including in your blood. This inflammation damages your arteries. It causes plaque to form. It makes your arteries stiffer and narrower. Your blood pressure rises. Blood clots are more likely to form. This is how you get heart attacks and strokes. The consequences you're not seeing yet. Here's the thing about blood poisoning through lifestyle choices. It's usually silent. There's no pain. There's no obvious symptom for years, sometimes decades. You might feel a little more tired than you used to. You might notice that you're gaining weight even though you're not eating more. You might feel a little more anxious or depressed than usual. You might have more trouble concentrating, but these symptoms are subtle. You convince yourself it's just normal aging or stress, or you're just getting older. Meanwhile, your arteries are silently narrowing. Plaque is accumulating. Your pancreas is working overtime to produce insulin. Your liver is getting infiltrated with fat. Your kidneys are being damaged by high blood pressure and high blood sugar. Your brain is accumulating the proteins that lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. And then one day, you have a heart attack, or a stroke, or you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, or you develop cancer. And here's what kills me, because this is the part that really gets me. Most of these diseases are preventable. Not always, but usually. This isn't genetic roulette for most people. This is a direct result of the lifestyle choices we've been making. I see people all the time who are shocked when they get diagnosed with a serious illness. But I didn't do anything to deserve this, they say. And I want to be compassionate, but I also want to be honest. You've been poisoning your blood for years through your lifestyle choices, and now your body is breaking down. Why we keep doing this to ourselves? Now, I could sit here and just blame people for making bad choices, but that wouldn't be fair and it wouldn't be accurate. There are real structural reasons why we're all doing this. First, food manufacturers have spent billions of dollars figuring out exactly how to make food that's hyper-palatable. They've engineered these products to hit the perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat to trigger our reward centers. They've hired neuroscientists to make sure that when you eat one chip, you can't stop at one. They've created products that are literally designed to be addictive. So it's not a character flaw if you're struggling with processed food. You're up against billion-dollar corporations who have weaponized food science. Second, our food system is completely broken. Healthy food is expensive. Junk food is cheap. This is by design. The government subsidizes corn and soy, which are used to make cheap seed oil and high fructose corn syrup. Meanwhile, fresh vegetables and high-quality protein sources aren't subsidized, so a single parent working 2 jobs is understandably choosing the dollar menu over organic produce. Third, we're all busy and overwhelmed. We're working longer hours than previous generations. We're more stressed. We have less time. It's easier to grab fast food than to cook a healthy meal. It's easier to scroll through your phone than to sleep. It's easier to sit on the couch than to go to the gym. Fourth, we're sold a narrative that this lifestyle is normal. Everyone's stressed, everyone's tired, everyone's dealing with chronic disease, so we think it's just part of life. We're not taught that our current lifestyle is actually abnormal from a historical perspective. For most of human history, people were eating real food. They were moving their bodies regularly. They were sleeping when it got dark. They were living in communities. They weren't constantly stimulated by screens and exposed to a barrage of stressful information. The wake-up call. So this is your wake-up call. I'm telling you this not to make you feel guilty or ashamed, but to give you information that can empower you to make different choices. Because the thing is, your body is incredibly resilient. It wants to be healthy. It's designed to be healthy. But you have to stop actively working against it. If you change your lifestyle, your blood can become clean again. Your arteries can heal. Your inflammation can decrease. Your blood pressure can normalize. Your metabolism can recover. Your energy can return. Your brain fog can clear. Your mood can improve. Your risk of disease can plummet. This isn't something that happens overnight. Your body didn't get into this state in a week, and it won't heal in a week. But it can heal. I've seen it happen. I've seen people who are on the brink of serious illness turn it around completely by changing their lifestyle. What needs to change? So, what does that look like? What do you actually need to do? Let me be practical here. Nutrition. Start eating real food. Food that your great-grandmother would recognize as food. Vegetables, fruits, quality proteins, healthy fats. Eliminate processed foods as much as possible. Cut out seed oils. Cut out added sugars. If it comes in a package with ingredients you can't pronounce, don't eat it. This doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be a dramatic shift from what most people are doing. Sleep. Make this a priority. Get 7 to 9 hours. Go to bed at a consistent time. Put your phone away an hour before bed. Make your bedroom dark and cool. Your body heals when you sleep. Your blood becomes cleaner when you sleep. This is where the transformation begins. Movement. Move your body every single day. It doesn't have to be intense. A walk counts. Gardening counts. Dancing in your living room counts. But do something. Get your heart rate up a few times a week. Build some muscle. Your cardiovascular system needs to be challenged to stay healthy. Stress management, this is huge. Meditation, breathing exercises, time in nature, time with loved ones, doing activities that bring you joy. You need to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your relaxation response. Right now, most people are in sympathetic overdrive, which is the stress response. You need to flip that switch. Environmental toxins. Reduce your exposure where you can. Use natural personal care products. Filter your water. Eat organic when possible. Use non-toxic cleaning products. Reduce your plastic consumption. This all matters. Community. We're social creatures. We need connection. Spend time with people. Build relationships. This isn't directly about blood, but it affects your stress levels, your sleep, your motivation to make healthy choices. The bottom line, let me bring this home. Your blood is being poisoned right now by the way you're living, not by some external force beyond your control, but by the cumulative effect of thousands of small choices you're making every day. The food you're eating, the stress you're carrying, the sleep you're not getting, the movement you're not doing, the toxins you're exposed to. But here's the good news. You can change this. You don't have to live like this. Your body wants to be healthy. It's designed to be healthy. You just have to stop working against it and start working with it. This is going to require commitment. It's going to require you to go against the cultural grain. Most people around you will be doing what they've always been doing, but you're making a different choice. You're choosing health. You're choosing to not poison your blood. You're choosing to give your body what it actually needs to thrive. And I promise you, when you do this, you're going to feel the difference. You're going to have more energy. Your mind is going to be clearer. Your mood is going to improve. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel like yourself again, maybe for the first time in years. This is your wake-up call. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep living the way you have been, knowing what you now know about what it's doing to your blood, to your body, to your health, or are you going to make a change? I'm hoping you choose change because you deserve better than this. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to live a long, healthy, vibrant life, and the only person who can make that happen is you. My name is Dr. Stuart R. Miller, and I wanted you to hear this. I wanted you to understand what's really happening. Now it's up to you. The moment of truth. Listen, I need you to really hear what I'm about to say. This is the moment. This is where your life splits into two very different paths, and you get to choose which one you walk down. Path number one. You finish listening to this, you feel a little inspired. Maybe you think, yeah, that makes sense. I should probably change some things. And then life happens. You go back to your routine, you get busy, you grab a coffee with extra cream and sugar because you had a rough morning, you order takeout because cooking feels too hard, you stay up late scrolling because you can't help it, and before you know it, it's 6 months later, and you're exactly where you started, except your arteries are a little more clogged, your blood pressure is a little higher, your metabolism is a little more broken, you're a little older, and you feel a little worse. And that's how it happens for most people. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Years slip by. You keep telling yourself you're going to change. You make resolutions every January. You download the fitness app. You buy the vitamins. But you never really commit. And then one day you get a diagnosis and you realize that you've run out of time to fix this. Or there's path number two. This is the path where you take what you just heard seriously. You recognize that this is real, that your blood actually is being affected by your lifestyle, that your body is literally changing in real time based on the choices you're making, and you decide that's not okay. You decide that you're worth more than that your health is worth fighting for. You are worth this. I want you to understand something deeply. You are worth the effort it takes to change. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to have energy. You deserve to wake up and not feel like you've been hit by a truck. You deserve to be able to think clearly, to remember things, to feel motivated. You deserve to live a long life where you're not dependent on 10 different medications. You deserve to see your kids grow up, your grandkids grow up. You deserve to travel, to play, to do the things that bring you joy. But here's the thing, nobody else can do this for you. Not me, not your doctor, not your family. Only you can make the choice to stop poisoning your blood. Only you can decide that today is the day you start eating real food. Only you can decide to put the phone down and go to sleep. Only you can decide to take a walk. Only you can decide that your health matters. And if you're sitting here thinking, but I've tried before and it didn't work, I'm going to tell you something. Most people fail not because they lack willpower. They fail because they're trying to change everything at once, or they're trying to do it perfectly, or they're trying to do it alone. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to start. One healthy meal, one good night's sleep, one walk, that's all, just one. And then you do it again tomorrow, and then again the next day. Before you know it, you've built a new pattern, a new normal. The person you're about to become. I want you to imagine something with me for a moment. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You've committed to this. You've been eating real food. You've been sleeping well. You've been moving your body. You've been managing your stress. You've cut out the processed garbage and the constant stimulation. How do you feel? Your energy is back. You wake up in the morning and you actually feel rested. Your mind is sharp. You can think clearly. You can focus on work without constantly getting distracted. Your mood is better. You're not dealing with constant anxiety and depression. You feel like yourself again. Physically, you've probably lost weight without even trying because your metabolism is functioning properly now. Your body isn't desperately storing fat anymore. Your clothes fit differently. You catch your reflection in a mirror and you think, wow, I actually look like I feel healthy. Your doctor is probably stunned. Your blood pressure is down. Your cholesterol is down. Your blood sugar is normalized. Your inflammation markers are way lower. Instead of being on a path toward disease, you're on a path toward health. But the real change is deeper than that. You feel hopeful. You feel in control. You realize that you're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not just passively accepting whatever happens to you. You're actively creating your health. You're making choices that honor your body. And that feeling of control, that feeling of agency, it changes everything. Now imagine being there right now, not 6 months from now, but imagine starting today. What do you do? What's the one thing you could do differently today? The resistance you'll face now, I want to be honest with you. If you commit to this, you're going to face resistance. There's going to be the internal resistance. The habits you've built, the cravings, the tiredness, the part of you that just wants to go back to what's comfortable and familiar, that's real, and it's going to be hard. But there's also external resistance. People in your life might not understand. Your friends might try to pressure you to go back to old habits. Come on, just one donut, they'll say. One night out isn't going to kill you. And they're right, one night won't kill you. But they don't understand that you're not just trying to be healthy, you're trying to save your life. Your family might think you're being weird or extreme. You might feel isolated for a while, like you're the only one doing this. That's temporary. Because once you start feeling better, once people see the change in you, everything shifts. And even if it doesn't, your health is worth it. Your life is worth it. There might be convenience you lose. You can't just grab food anywhere anymore. You have to think ahead. You have to cook. You have to plan. That's actually a good thing because it forces you to be intentional, but it is an adjustment. But here's what I know. The discomfort of change is temporary. The pain of continuing on your current path is permanent. You can suffer now for a better future, or you can be comfortable now and suffer later. Those are your choices. There's no third option where you keep living exactly as you are and somehow end up healthy. Your blood is talking to you. Your blood is literally trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you that what you're doing isn't working. Your fatigue, your brain fog, your mood issues, your weight gain, your aches and pains, these are all messages from your body. Your body is desperately trying to get your attention and say, hey, we need to make a change here. Listen to it, honor it. Your body has been trying to keep you alive despite the abuse you've been putting it through. It's time to show it some appreciation. It's time to work with it instead of against it. I'm hoping you choose change because you deserve better than this. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to live a long, healthy, vibrant life, and the only person who can make that happen is you. My name is Dr. Stuart R. Miller, and I wanted you to hear this. I wanted you to understand what's really happening. Now it's up to you.